Hey guys, it is Michael from Hollow Thrills back with another video, and today we have another episode of the only show known to both crush your childhood but make you hopeful for the future. It's time for another adventure into Rebuilding Disney. Yes, that is right, we are back with another episode of Rebuilding Disney. Last time I left you off, we had just finished up our rebuild of Fantasyland over in the Magic Kingdom. Now we're going to take a little bit of a break from the Magic Kingdom and move to a different park that I think desperately needs a rebuild. That is right, we are going to start with Animal Kingdom. We are going to start rebuilding Animal Kingdom because, in my personal opinion, this park does not bring much to the Disney property as far as attractions for guests, and may be, in my opinion, once again, the worst park on Disney property. But before we get into it any further, please make sure that you are subscribed and have the bell notification turned on to get notified whenever I post a video. And also make sure you go down in the description and follow both my Instagram and my Twitter, as it is the only way to make sure that you are 100% entered for my 500 subscriber giveaway. So get those entries in, as the giveaway ends this Saturday, the 13th. Now let's reveal which section of Animal Kingdom we are going to start with on our rebuild of the park. So this section of the park, I think, needs a lot of help. There is a lot of attractions that are closed. There are a lot of areas that are closed. There is just more things that are closed than open. That is right, we are going to start off our rebuild of Animal Kingdom with Dinoland USA. Yes, Dinoland USA. Everyone thinks it needs a rebuild, and I also think it needs a rebuild. Like I said, a lot of things are closed that should be open, and a lot of things are just sitting pretty much in a very tragic state of disarray. So we need to start off with the first thing that is a blaring thing that needs an update, and that is the theming of this land. Now I look around the entire overview of the park, I look at the overhead view of it on maps, and I try to find something that looks like I could build off of it. And the one thing that I see in particular that does catch my eye as something that would be fun and interesting and educational would be the Boneyard. Now this area, I think, is extremely underutilized in this area, and is frankly probably one of the coolest things for kids to get hands-on involvement in and kind of be an educational thing. Now I believe that we could extend this area throughout this land and make this land into more of a kind of like Egyptian sort of ruin area, but also make it focused on paleontology and archaeology. I just think it would be a really cool area, like really big sandy dunes, Egyptian tombs and pyramids and pillars, and a bunch of like really cool Egyptian architecture all over this land. And all over the area as well, you have different dig sites throughout the area that have different artifacts or different fossils that you could see. And we build extensions of tunnels all throughout the new land that connect these dig sites and make it more of an interactive area, include new technology to make it really hands-on interaction and super educational for children, but also like really make it cool in a way so that kids have fun while they're learning about both archaeology and paleontology. Now that we have the basic theme of this new area laid out and done, now we need to talk about some of the rides. Now we look at the pre-existing rides in this area, and the big one that everyone looks at is Dinosaur. Now it is no secret that Dinosaur does have the exact same ride vehicle system and the exact same track layout as a pre-existing ride in another Disney park. And that ride just so happens to have a theme that fits in this new themed area that we're building, and that would be Indiana Jones. So yes, I believe that Dinosaur should be rethemed to Indiana Jones and keep a whole connection between Indiana Jones and a sort of exploration of the pyramids of Giza, Egyptian pharaohs, stuff like that, and we would completely retheme this ride to that and keep an exact copy of it as well. Now, with a retheme of an attraction, as far as the theme of it goes, you also have to retheme the exterior and the queue as well. Now, the exterior, I believe, should be sort of a pyramid. They should change the building to like a pyramid shape where you can see all three pyramids of Giza, and then you walk right into the entrance of the pyramid, almost like you're going down underneath of it, and you're going into the tunnels. Now, the queue system, once again, like I said, would have to be rethemed. and the queue system would be rethemed to the tunnels underneath of a pyramid, which are long, windy tunnels that you get lost in, and every so often we would have open areas that would be themed to the different Indiana Jones films. So I think it would be a super cool themed area, themed queue to the attraction, and also bring new life to this attraction as we would update different ride elements and update the technology in them as well to make it sort of a newer attraction. Now with the big attraction out of the way and updated, now we move on to another area in the park for another attraction. Now, you may all know that Primeval Whirl is no more. The cars have been taken away, parts of the track have started to be pieced out. It's not a good sight when you see it in the park. It kind of looks old and run down and very depressing, kind of. So we need to find something to replace that. And I personally think we need another family type coaster, but also that brings a little bit of thrills, because you can't just have all family, you got to have a little bit of thrill in there as well. The ride that I think could fit in this area, if you're looking overhead of the attraction, you see that it takes up a massive footprint, and there's also a big area backstage that we could extend into for this new attraction. Now, I think family, I think family oriented, I think coasters, and I look across the Disney properties, the whole bunch of Disney properties around the world, and I try to find something similar that we could go off of as a basis. And I look at Tokyo DisneySea. They have an attraction called Raging Spirits. Now, this coaster is kind of a copy off of one that was themed to Indiana Jones in Paris Disneyland, but this one we're going to theme to the pyramids once again, Egyptian archaeology, stuff like that. So it's going to be super cool and super different, but also keep around the same idea as Raging Spirits, because Raging Spirits' initial storyline connected to Harrison Hightower, which is part of the Society of Explorers and Adventurers. I think this would be a great way to include the Sea organization into Animal Kingdom and to help develop that backstory a little bit more, because the original ride, Raging Spirits, includes Harrison Hightower and a dig site of his with the Aztec tribes and the Aztec temples, but now we're going to keep that exact same storyline, but tinker it a little bit to fit in our area, which would be Egyptians, Egyptian pharaohs, Egyptian pyramids, the artifacts of that. So this is another dig site of Harrison Hightower trying to get more artifacts for his collection. And I believe that this heavily themed awesome attraction would be a great addition to this area of the park, as it is a more of a tamer minecart type coaster, but also does have a thrill in being the singular loop that is in the middle of the layout. The last ride update to the land would be the repainting and retheming of Triceratops Spin. I do not believe that this should be removed. It's a really good family-friendly flat ride that fits well into our theme still, with it being related to paleontology. Now, I just think that we need to repaint it and retheme it to fit our new Pharaoh and Egyptian theme, and also as far as the restaurants and the different food stands that already exist in this area. I still think that we can keep the same restaurants in the area, and we can just retheme the exteriors of all of them to fit our theme. And even, I'm gonna be honest, we could keep the same names because, like I said, paleontology still fits into that, and it will be a little nod back to what was originally there. Overall, I feel like the retheming and update of this section of the park would bring new life to this area and help draw people from one side of the park to the other and help split the guests, as we have Pandora in one corner and then this new area in the other would help with the flow of traffic with guests all around the park. And that will wrap up this episode of Rebuilding Disney. If you are super happy that this series is back, please make sure you drop a like and also comment down below what you would like to be added next, or what section of Animal Kingdom you would want redone next, and I'll try to do that for you. But as always, I'm Michael, this has been Hall of Thrills, and I'll see you guys next time.